Let's make some noise. Come on.
That's right, Nick Foles. Let's make some noise indeed. Welcome back, everybody, to another snapping episode of the Final Word here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network with your boy, MattyB, here on the call tonight with you on this Tuesday, lovely Tuesday evening in early January. Can they get there on the backs of their defense is the title of tonight's show. It's the theme, if you will. And that, of course, alludes to, are the Philadelphia Eagles capable of winning a Super Bowl with no offense? I mean, let's be clear. That's what we're asking, right? That is what we are asking the Philadelphia Eagles to do in 2025, is to win a Super Bowl with no offense at all. And are they up to that task? And we will definitely find that out on Sunday. So that is the theme of tonight's show. Also, we're going to sprinkle in some baseball. We are going to get back to the hot stove. I've been sort of letting that go because I've been waiting for some things to build up. Unfortunately, nothing's really building up. And this is not just for the Phillies. I mean, we come on this program quite regularly and bash the Phillies for lack of movement. I mean, there's still a bunch of like high ticket numbered free agents sitting out there. And we'll get you caught up on the latest and greatest happenings around the hot stove tonight. The Philadelphia Flyers are in action as we speak, and I'm going to do a twofer tonight, folks. Yeah, that's right, man. I got you covered for Flyers, Ducks. We're going to do the It's a Wrap or the Clear the Ice program after this show. As soon as the game goes final in South Philly, Flyers are, I believe, up 4-1. They are in the second period intermission of that hockey game. Cutter Gauthier got things going for the Ducks tonight with the goal. I did not realize. I know he's having a good season, but I don't follow the Anaheim Ducks, Mighty Ducks, Anaheim, whatever the hell they call themselves these days, California Angels. I don't follow them, right? I did not know he had 20 goals. He scored his 20th goal of the season tonight. Oh, man. I mean, I get it. I'm not sitting here trying to tell you it would have been nice, him wearing an orange and black sweater. Yeah, maybe I am, but I understand why he's not here, and I get all that, but we can never have any nice things in Philadelphia. Can't do it. And Jamie Drysdale, the player that was actually traded for Cutter Gauthier, helped off the ice in a vicious hit. We'll get into that during postgame, but a nasty, nasty, dirty hit perpetrated upon Jamie Drysdale by Johnson of the Anaheim Mighty Ducks, and he got a 5-minute major plus a game misconduct. Flyers were unable to cash in on that 5-minute major penalty, but we'll get into that a little bit later on tonight on the Clear the Ice program. But, of course, the main topic tonight is going to be the Eagles. And as we prepare now, it's okay to turn the page as we are officially, into that week of preparation for the wild card. It is the 49ers, and the buzz around the water cooler today is, you know what? They can win a Super Bowl on the heels of their defense. They can do this just with the defense. And we're going to get into that because I find it a very interesting line of thought by Eagles fans that we have now decided, for whatever reason, this offense ain't worth a damn. This $200 million offense, quarterbacked by allegedly an elite MVP caliber quarterback, we don't care about that anymore because it sucks. And for whatever reason, but of course the main culprit of all this is Kevin Petula, but we're not even caring anymore. We're just moving on. We're turning the page tonight on the Eagle offense, and we're just going to hope and pray that the Eagles can run their defense to a Super Bowl. Man, I've gone to bed with better thoughts, honestly. So we're gonna dissect all that tonight, and of course your of the night segment, your day in Philadelphia sports history, and your if we have time, the card. I do have all that stuff prepared for you, but if we do not have time because of final word, clear the ice requirements, then I'll probably save that till tomorrow. But Joe Hale's checking in. Joe, how you doing? Good to see you, Joe. So let's get things rolling here on the program tonight. By the way, let's just take a look at what's coming up here on the week as we are getting deeper into this week. Tuesday, not quite any time to get excited that we're close to the weekend, but it's Tuesday, technically Wednesday. And on the program tonight, you had Pittsburgh Sports Tonight. me, some props and lockins and parlayins, and then you had the final word with me, and then we're doing a two for tonight. So you're going to stay right here for the final, for the Clear of the Ice. Why do I keep calling it the final word? Stay right here with the Clear of the Ice program, as I will deliver Flyers post game as a 2-for-1 on this fine program tonight. Tomorrow, the Pittsburgh Sports Desk and me. On Thursday, you got some Birds Blast TBD. Of course, I've stopped putting 7 o'clock down there because I don't want to lie anymore. I doubt we're ever going to do it again at 7. We're probably going to have to adjust that in 2026 and stop lying to the folks. 8 o'clock will be the Gridiron Weekly Report. They'll be back from their weekend or their holiday hiatus. And then me and Clearing the Ice, Flyers, Maple Leafs, Clear the Ice. But man, me final word. And then what's up with me? Why can I not why can I not say Clear the Ice? Why am I having a problem delineating the two shows? Friday is the Philly Friday Frenzy with Big Al. And then on Saturday, the best of It's a Wrap Sports for the week. And then Flyers Lightning post game. And then we do it all again on Sunday, as we typically do. So there you have it. The week in a glance on the It's a Wrap Sports Network this week. So let's a lot to do here on the network. Tom Brady and Kevin Burkhardt will be on the call, and don't forget Erin Andrews. Don't give the girl. You gotta give the girl credit. By the way, she's a very attractive girl. And Erin Andrews will be on the call Sunday for the playoff game against the 49ers. Yeah, I mean that's a good team. I like that group. I like Tom Brady as a color guy. I really do. He's growing into the job. Vic Fangio says he expects Nakobe Dean to return. He does, but not necessarily the same vote of confidence for Lane Johnson. As I believe Nick Sirianni said, we'll kind of have to take it. We're going to have to wait and see how he does on the practice field. So good news with Nakobe Dean, obviously, but concerning news when it comes to Lane Johnson, because this football team is really not the same without Lane Johnson, and especially the offense. I mean, we don't need any more problems with the offense, and not having Lane Johnson in the playoffs is definitely not a good thing. Joe Hale saying F cancer. What's up, Joe? You got something you want to talk about? But I agree with that conversation. I agree with that statement. All right, let's get rolling here on the program tonight. Let's strap in, strap on, put your head, hands, and feet inside the car at all times. And here we go with your day in Philadelphia sports history. January 6, 1962, the Philadelphia Eagles played for the honor of third place. That's right. From 60 to 70, the second place finishes of each conference played a third place game. The NFL had a bronze medal game every year. The Pro Bowl, the Pro Playoff Classic is what it was called, also known as the Burt Bell Benefit Bowl. Yeah, try say that 100 times fast. In honor of the Eagles' founding owner. A year after winning the NFL championship, the Eagles were blown out by the Lions on this day, 38-10, giving Detroit the league's charitable consolation. So back when the NFL had a bronze medal game, or the Burt Bell Bowl, let's say it 10 times. Let's say the full name. I'm going to try to say it 5 times fast. Burt Bell Benefit Bowl, Burt Bell Benefit Bowl, Burt Bell Benefit Bowl, Burt Bell Benefit Bowl, Burt Bell Benefit Bowl. I mean, it wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be, but that is too many B's together. But that was the name of the game for the third place winner or third place finisher in the NFL back in 1962, and apparently all throughout the 60s and the 70s in the National Football League. The bronze medal game, if you will. So, but the Eagles were not able to kind of nail that down on this night, 1962. So the Eagles lose 38-10 to the Lions in the Burt Bell Benefit Bowl, the NFL's bronze medal game. And there's your day in Philadelphia sports history. And that was brought to you by the great folks over here at the networks that present shows like the Pittsburgh Sports Desk, returning from their holiday break tomorrow. If you guys are interested in what's happening on the western side of the state, then you look no further than the Pittsburgh Sports Desk, because they will get you covered on all the, I don't know, how many major sports do they have up? 2? You got two major sports. Yeah, 2, right? Hockey and baseball. Oh, they got 3. I'm sorry. Keep on forgetting about the Pirates. They got 3 major sports. So they'll get you all caught up with what's happening with the Pittsburgh major sports teams. Only on the Pittsburgh Sports Desk every Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. right here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network. And Joe says he just found out that his sister has cancer. Joe, I am very sorry to hear that. I'm not going to give you the platitudes, and I'm not going to tell you all the, there's just no other way. It sucks. And it's a scourge. I lost my dad to cancer many years ago. So I have no words. I don't want to disrespect you with the platitudes. All right. It sucks. Absolutely 100% sucks. My thoughts and my prayers are with you and her. And I hope, and I do pray that everything works out. I do. And maybe someday, hundreds of years from now, long after we've all checked out, they find a way to get it all under control. So yeah, thoughts and prayers out to Joe Hale's sister and anybody else in anybody's life that has dealt with or lost somebody due to any form of cancer. It's just terrible, absolutely terrible thing. So again, Joe, I'm sorry. And my thoughts and my prayers are with her. The Ravens head coach, John Harbaugh, are parting ways. John Harbaugh and the Ravens are, man, I can't talk tonight, man. Raiders, clear the ice, final word. The Ravens head coach, John Harbaugh, of 18 years, are parting ways. Harbaugh was dismissed today. That's coach number 7, if you're keeping track at home, that have lost their job throughout the course of the 2025 NFL season. Now, I read a little bit about it. I didn't get deep into the whole situation. I do know that now it's 7 NFL coaching jobs. Is John Harbaugh, does he become the top candidate? Does he rocket to the top of a lot of teams' lists as they look to kind of, retool? And and if Harbaugh is interested in returning to the sideline next year, why for some odd reason does it make sense for him to coach the Giants? Does anybody else have that same sort of feeling about it? I don't have any inside information other than a feeling that John Harbaugh just somehow fits with the Giants. And I don't necessarily think I like that. You don't stick around in 18 years in one place because you got, boyishly good looks. He was doing something right. The franchise, obviously, after moving from Cleveland to Baltimore, struggled a little bit, but having Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, and those guys, really definitely jump-started John Harbaugh's career. And I mean, how much are you laying on the feet of John Harbaugh, Ray Lewis? I don't know, but definitely had a great run and appeared in 3 Super Bowls, won 1. So, I mean, he's got the resume, and I would not be surprised if he finds his way back to an NFL sideline near you very soon. So John Harbaugh, yes, the 7th coach in the NFL this year to lose his position for one reason or another. So, or does John Harbaugh, did the Eagles bring him back as a special teams coach next year? Don't forget, a long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, that's what he was doing here. He came from the Eagles. He's part of the Andy Reid coaching tree. He was our special teams coach and got the job in 2008 with Baltimore. Because the Eagles are maybe going to be looking for a special teams coach next year. Do they bring him back? Does he take a job as a special teams coach? I doubt it. But we're going to wait and see. I definitely think he's going to, if he wants to come back, if he wants to be part of an NFL franchise, he'll be back next year. And I know just about every team, with maybe the exception of the Ravens, would be probably very interested to see what he wants to do here. And probably, again, he's probably on the top of a lot of short lists already, less than 12 hours after getting fired. So we'll wait and see about how that works out. Star Wars also reports some breaking news that the Lions have parted ways with John Morton, their offensive coordinator. Wasn't that just 1 year? Just 1 year into the tenure of John Morton over there in Detroit? Another team that didn't make the playoffs. They blaming their offense in Detroit? Wow. Interesting. That's a very interesting story. And it's a great segue, Star Wars. Thank you for setting me up for this, because obviously we know all too well in this town the frustrations of an offensive coordinator, right? I mean, that is essentially what we go to bed with on our minds on a daily basis during the football season, is why can't we figure out the offensive coordinator situation. Why is this team struggle so heavily with offensive coordinators? Well, why can't we keep an offensive coordinator here? And when we get one, why do they stink? And why the good ones leave? All those questions. And as we set our sights on the San Francisco 49ers in a game that I think the Eagles can win, honestly, I really do. The Niners, now I don't want to like take the Niners too lightly. I don't respect their offense with the exception of CMC. I really don't. And I know their defense is really banged up. This game is there for the Eagles. And this might be the easiest game the Eagles play this entire playoff. Whether or not, though, the Eagles come out and assert their dominance over a team that they're better than remains to be seen. Now, 11-6 on the season, right? And a season that was extremely inconsistent on the offensive side of the ball. And yes, we've pretty much explored every single possibility of why they've struggled. And we'll just go over some of the highlights right now. Saquon Barkley, what did I hear early in the season? Was tired. That's what I heard from some homers out there saying, well, you can't expect Saquon to come back and do what he did in 24 and 25. And I 100% agree with that statement. I do, to a certain extent. I don't think anybody expected Saquon Barkley to amass 2,500 all-purpose yards this year. I did not. And to think that he was going to have a similar season was fool's gold to think that. What happened to him at 24 doesn't happen every year, unless your name is Walter Payton, Barry Sanders, or players like that. It just doesn't happen every year. And he did not, for whatever reason, and we're going to explore a few more of those reasons, just did not look the same. And yeah, we're going to blame the offensive line, right? We're going to blame the poor play of the offensive line. We're going to blame the overall health of the offensive line. We're going to blame that. But there also needs to be blame assessed to Saquon. Too many times he looked like he's been running in quicksand, right? That first step has not been anywhere near the way it was last year. And yeah, there is some problems with the line. The line doesn't seem to be getting the push, right? People are not, seem to be missing their assignments. There's not pulling going on. There's been shoddy offensive line play. And then you mix in their health problems. And I'm not sitting here telling you that they're blameless. But Saquon hasn't been right for whatever reason. We talked about the offensive line. It's been another big storyline this year, the overall health of them. And when they are in there, they're not playing well. The regression of Jordan Mailata, who I don't think we talk about enough about how poorly he's played this year. Jordan Mailata looks every bit like the rugby player that we got, how many years ago now was that? 5 or 6 years ago? He's regressed completely on all levels of his game. And then, of course, the health problems, right, have not helped this team out. Then, of course, we're going to go to the old faithful, Kevin Petula and his offensive play calling and the schemes, the conservative style of offense. And from a very, very beginning, and I think we talked about this, and everyone's talked about this, not just me, but everyone else has talked about this ad nauseum. I'm going back to the offseason when we first hired him. I mean, I know a lot of red flags went off with me when you're looking at a guy that, once again, he's an internal hire. He's never done this before. A buddy of Nick Sirianni. And I honestly thought it was a joke when they first announced it. I'm like, no, you're kidding, right? I mean, I know the Brian Johnson thing was a couple of years ago, and maybe they're forgetting, but I haven't forgotten. It hasn't been that long. But we decided to go back down that same path for whatever the reason is. And, of course, we'll get to those reasons hopefully at the end of the season when they do finally talk and they're put on the spot, hopefully, about, why him? Why did we hire him? And has there been some problems with his play calling designs? Yeah. Has there been some conservative offense? Yeah. I'm not going to sit here and tell you you're wrong. The play calling has not at times been very overwhelming. It's been very underwhelming majority of the season. But I always want to fall back on one thing. And from a human standpoint, is he doing this thing purposely? I mean, I understand coaches, they want it their way at times. They want their system to work. But honestly, if something's not working and you try it over and over and over again, human nature dictates that you would switch around from it and try something new. And the Eagles haven't done that to date. Now, the conspiracy theorists out there who believe the Eagles are going to flip a script come Sunday and all of a sudden the greatest show on turf is going to show up. Oh, maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't. But if it does, I'll be very impressed. But if it doesn't happen, I'm not going to really bat it. I'm not going to be disappointed. But why, oh, why have we not been able to become at all creative on offense? And I, you know where I'm going with this. You know where I'm headed, and it's got to be discussed because it's probably one of the greatest sham jobs done or snow jobs done in this city, and that's the quarterback. I don't know how much more people need to see to understand that for whatever reason, they don't trust Jalen Hurts. And again, people are going to get mad at me and call me a hater for bringing up what I think is one of the most obvious things that you could look at. There's no other option or there's no other reason that they're doing what they're doing offensively. Because I honestly think going into this season, they wanted the run game to be similar to 2024. And then early on, when it became evident or apparent that it wasn't working, they were concerned because then they'd have to put the onus back on Jalen Hurts' arm, and it has not worked in the past. And they were concerned because now all of a sudden, a whole other series of problems crop up about allowing him freedom of maneuverability on the battlefield, allowing his ability to take over, trusting that his ability takes over and doesn't hurt this team. And I honestly believe Kevin Patullo and Nick Sirianni, I'm not saying he's blameless either, have some serious trust issues with their quarterback and allowing him to open up for whatever reason. And we did kind of see it firsthand in that Charger game when they were kind of opening up the playbook and Jalen Hurts was giving up turnovers like he was popping Tic Tacs. And I guess that's the reason, right? I mean, again, I'm not trying to be a hater. I'm just pointing out the obvious. The run game hasn't worked. And it's sort of like brought out all their biggest fears about having to rely on Jalen Hurts to get them through and to try to have him help them win or be the main reason why they are winning. And it hasn't worked. And again, I do want to justify this. With the exception of the 2022 season, it hasn't worked with Jalen Hurts as the focal point of the offense. It really hasn't. The 2023 season was very similar offensively than it is this year. Very similar. What's helped the Eagles along the way this season has been the defense has been a sight better than the 2023 Eagle defense. And that's sort of made up for a lot of these problems. But the offense is very similar to the one they had in 2023. The offense has been very similar to they had through the first 4 games of 2024. And then they decided we're gonna turn Saquon loose for 2,500 all-purpose yards. And it changed everything. And they have not been able to do that this year. And I want to know, is there a serious trust issue with the quarterback? Because I don't think you can deny that anymore. If you want to believe Jalen Hurts is elite, I'm not going to tell you that you're wrong. I'm not. Well, yeah, I am. I'm going to tell you that you're wrong. But if that's what you want to believe in, okay. You're never going to see that here. Jalen Hurts will never, as long as Nick Sirianni is the head coach of this football team, Jalen Hurts will never, ever have the opportunity to spread his wings and fly. It's just not going to happen. For some odd reason, for whatever that reason is, they don't trust Jalen Hurts to be that type of quarterback. Racco Gudis is still playing in the NHL. He's fighting right now with Garnet Hathaway from a hit earlier in the game that Hathaway laid out one of the Ducks players. I did not know Racco Grudas was still playing. Is he like 105? Yeah, he's got gray in his beard. Good God, dude, retire. But so we kind of ran down the usual suspects: Kevin Medula, Saquon Barkley, offensive line, Jalen Hurts. That has been the usual suspects of why the offense is not working. Not quite 200 million reasons why the offense is not working, but those are the reasons. There's the 4. And now we go back to my original question. Can the Philadelphia Eagles ride their defense to a Super Bowl? Now, today, on some other programs that I've been listening, kind of catching in between the programs today, listening to some stuff, I heard some people say, sure, they can ride their defense to a Super Bowl. Look at the 2000 Ravens, the 2015 Broncos. Nobody brought up the 85 Bears that I heard, but it was namely the 2000 Ravens and the 2015 Broncos as examples of teams riding their defenses to Super Bowl championships. First of all, as far as the 2000 Ravens go, I ain't putting the Eagles 2025 defense in that league with that team. All right. I would have like 4 Hall of Famers on that defense. Do we potentially have 4 Hall of Famers on this defense? Yeah, maybe, but not now. And they're not playing that level at this point, right? They're not. So I'm not going to sit here and put the 2000 Ravens in the Eagles category. I'm just not going to do that. It's disrespectful to the Ravens. As far as the 2015 Broncos, that's pretty comparable to what they did. And, you know, the Eagles could probably do it. The Eagles could probably ride their defense all the way to a Super Bowl. But did we pay $200 million for the Eagles to use their defense to win a Super Bowl? Doesn't that go against everything that the homers talk about on a daily basis when it comes to especially their quarterback? Doesn't that go against their entire narrative about Jalen Hurts being this elite franchise level quarterback? And doesn't it support my narrative more that he's an average to above average quarterback that's a game manager that hopefully can complete a pass and a half of football and do all those things that quarterbacks do in order to help your team win? Now, all of a sudden, they're singing out of their other side of their mouths. And it's not just the homers. It's a lot of the Eagle fan base. People have come to that point where they've given up on the offense. Now, I'm here to sit here and tell you that I don't think they can do that. Their offense has got to show up. At some point in this playoffs, the Philadelphia Eagle offense has got to figure it out in order for them to win a Super Bowl. I'm not saying on Sunday, because they very well could defensively win that football game. But somewhere along the line, the divisional championship, and if they get back to Super Bowl and they get to Super Bowl 60s, the offense is going to have to show up at some point. Question is, they haven't done it in 18 games, or they haven't done it consistently in 18 games. Can they do it consistently over the next possible 4 games? I don't think they can, personally. Because just like we've said before as well, this is not a broken offense. It's not. This is what the offense is. For good or for bad, this is what they are. So, I mean, I'm very interested to hear what you have to say about this. Commanders have parted ways with Cliff Kingsbury and Joe Witt. Yep. Good to see you, Steve. How you doing? Cooper DeJean and Nikki Bella are casually. Come on. The Star Wars. Come on, man. What am I, TMZ? Come on. What the hell do I care about that? I mean, good luck. I mean, hey, congratulations there, Coop. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's an interesting, attractive young woman. And I call her young because she's actually about 12 years younger than I am. Look at the Flyers. They're really doing good. It's an interesting game. 4-2 right now as we get to about the halfway point of the third period. Really physical game going on down there at the arena as these teams are beating up on each other right now. Denver Barkey just involved in a little bit of an incident, getting up kind of slow, but he's skating around. God, that kid looks like he's about 12, man. Oh, my God, he looks young. Cutter, is this residual from Cutter Gauthier? I don't know, or this was set up with the hit earlier in the game from Hathaway. I don't know, but a real chippy game going on down there at the arena tonight. Flyers and Ducks. probably be a really good game to be at, honestly. Anaheim's not really too shabby anymore. They've sort of turned the corner on their franchise. They are, I can call them a powerhouse in the West, but they're a competitive team out West. And of course, we all know the Flyers story. But we'll be talking Flyers in depth here when this game goes final, because I got cleared the ice duties tonight following the Flyers Ducks game, and a very interesting chippy game happening down there at the arena. Flyers currently 4-2 with the lead about at the halfway point of the third period. So I'm going to open up the phone lines. We're going to get some phone calls tonight. Again, anything is on the table. My little rant there about the Eagles and about can they ride the backs of their defense to a championship. If you want to talk that, you want to talk some Flyers, you want to talk Phillies, you want to talk whatever you want to talk with, please feel free to jump on. That link should be hitting your chat screens right about now. All you need to do is you need to have a microphone. I don't need to be able to see you if you do not feel comfortable with camera. You don't need one, but I do need to be able to hear you. And by the way, if you're checking us out on Facebook, which I don't think you are, well, but if you're looking at us on Facebook, we're having problems connecting to Facebook. So if you can hear me on Facebook, I can't get the stream out to you. But the stream is the link is out there. So if you want to pop on. Eagles, can they ride their defense to a Super Bowl championship? I say no. I say that that's too much to ask. After an 18-game season where they pretty much rode the defenses to a 18-game, to an 11-6 record, I don't think they can ride their defense to a Super Bowl. I think they can ride their defense this week, but I think at some point in some round they're going to have to figure out their offense. Their offense has got to get better. Their offense is, and again, maybe it's not a point of me even saying that they got to get better. They just got to find out how to be a little bit more consistent. Is it asking too much after 18 games? I hope not. I really, truly hope it's not. But I'm not feeling good collectively about the Eagles' chances in this Super Bowl run riding the coattail of their defense. It's not the 2000 Ravens. It's a little bit comparable to the 2015 Broncos, but Jalen Hurts is not Peyton Manning, even at the end of his career. So it's not them. And I'm certainly not comparing the Eagle defense in 2025 to the 85 Bears. There's no way in hell I'm going to do that. So can the Eagles do it? And that's the question on the table tonight. And anything else you want to come to bear with? Ricky Deal, how you doing, man? Oh, Ricky. Ricky Deal. There you are, Ricky. Ricky, can you hear me? Ricky, can you hear me? Okay. How are you tonight?
And those Sixers.
Ricky, and I'll be the first to apologize to you and everybody else that watches this network. We are negligent on our Sixers coverage. We got to figure that out. I know that we got to figure that out. But we just got to figure that out. So I apologize. We are going to at one point do something Sixers related. I just don't know when that is or who that will be. I'm going to tell you it's not going to be me, but we got to figure that out. So go Sixers. What about the Flyers? You watching the Flyers game, Ricky? It's a really good one tonight.
Mm-hmm.
It's a real good one, actually. What do you think about that hit on Jamie Drysdale earlier in the game? Was that a cheap shot?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was terrible. Terrible. And what was worse about it was the Flyers could not connect at all on that 5-minute power play. You got to put teams away in those types of situations, and they could have scored at least one goal. But the Flyers are on the 2-man advantage right now, actually, with about 10 minutes to go, Ricky. So, Ricky, Eagles question for you, and then I'm going to let you go. Here's my Eagles question. Can the Eagles ride their defense to a Super Bowl championship?
Mm-hmm.
Of course you're going to say it, Ricky. I can always count on you to brighten my day. Ricky Deal says yes. I don't think so. All right, Ricky. Tomorrow night, same time, same station.
Mm-hmm.
All right, brother. Have a good night. We'll talk later. Ricky Deal thinks they can. I don't know. Let's see what Steve Roth has to say. Steve, how you doing tonight?
Fantastic. I believe that the Eagles can ride the defense this Sunday, but it really can't be all on the defense. It just can't. Okay. But for the first thing is the 49ers are banged up as well. They are. And what I'm hearing that the Eagles can ride the defense this Sunday, but we cannot be trusting their defense. What really needs to happen is the offense have to step up. Like last Sunday was really pathetic. Just really was. Watching Tanner McKee out there throw the ball in the first half. Then in the second half, he started to run the ball. It's like, why couldn't you run the ball in the first half? Because if you ran the ball in the first half, you could have slammed this team out and win the game. But now you were keeping the other team in the game the whole entire time. It's just not good. Just really, really not.
So the Tanner McKee game, I think it's hard for anybody to sit and sort of place an evaluation on it. I honestly thought I liked what I saw from Tanner McKee. I'm not going to lie. And what I was looking, and what I mean by that is it seemed like the plays were opened up for him. They were letting him throw the ball down the field. 5 completions to the middle of the field Tanner McKee had on Sunday. Jalen Hurts hasn't completed 5 passes to the middle of the field in about 3 years. One, they don't let him take as many shots to the middle of the field, and he certainly doesn't complete as many to the middle of the field. So I was looking for more of an opened up playbook, kind of spicy up, do something different. And I get it. They reverted back to their old ways. But 40 pass attempts, that's a quarterback right there. And obviously Jalen Hurts, if he's throwing the ball 40 times a game, something's gone wrong. And it probably results in an Eagles loss. So I hear what you're saying. And I hear what you're saying overall about the offense. I'm more concerned about what happened in Buffalo, that offensive performance, versus what happened against the Commanders, because that was with the starters. But you say they can ride their coattails on Sunday. I agree with you. I think the Eagles can beat the 49ers in a defensive performance on Sunday. But as you get deeper into this, with potential matchups with the Rams and the Seahawks, and then whoever the hell the AFC has coming out if you get to the Super Bowl, the offense has got to find a way to be consistent at some point in these playoffs, or they're just not going to be able to get it done.
Now, my question is, are they saving Jalen Hurts to run the ball in the playoffs? That's my question. Because as what you saw during about for the whole entire football game year of last year, he didn't even run the ball that much. He was more throwing the ball. It's like, okay, so my question is, are they just saving him for the playoffs to run the ball because they are more good in the playoffs than playing in the regular season like that?
Who's saving Jalen Hurts?
Yeah.
So I looked at this. I put this up on our social media page a couple days ago. There has been the Eagles this season designed run plays for the quarterback, not broken plays where he's running for his life, but designed quarterback runs. This season, the Eagles are averaging 1.1 plays a game, design runs for Jalen Hurts. Last year, they were averaging 3.6. The year before that, 3.7. The year before that, it was like around 4. It's down to 1.1 design run plays a game. That's what they've been averaging. That's
just really not good. Just really not. Because their one average should be up a little bit higher than having it.
Why do you think it's not? Why do you think it's not?
Because they're not really running the ball that much with Jalen Hurts. Because
now there was a story earlier in the year that Jalen didn't want to be a running quarterback. Do you think that has anything to do with it?
I believe so. I really do. But if you looked at last year, he was running the ball a lot of times last year. So I'm wondering what have changed from this year than last year.
3.6 design runs a play a game last year. and down to 1.1. Now you're right. There's something to that. Those numbers don't lie. Something's not right. I agree.
Something is really not right. It's just not. It's really pathetic. The Eagles need to really figure something out for this Sunday. They really do. Because they cannot be relying on the defense every single time. Yes, the defense are way better than the offense, but the offense has to step up.
Now, the Buffalo game. Okay, we saw the Buffalo game, the 13-0 lead.
Oh yeah, dude, that was really pathetic.
They held their own, but at the end of that game, they were tired, and I don't know why he did not kick a field goal and decide just to bring the offense back. Because if Buffalo sends that game into overtime, Buffalo wins, because that defense was done. They were done. They were just out of gas, and coaches
they were really out of
dealing with
gas.
Eagle defense.
And if you look at the Buffalo game, in the first half, the offense was really there. Then all of a sudden, in the second half, the offense was non-existent. It's like, what happened
Really
from the first
there.
half to the second half?
Yeah, it was bad. It was all kinds of bad. All kinds of bad.
I'm just really concerned about the offense. And yes, the Eagles are the defending Super Bowl champs, but you're not playing as what we are expecting right now. We're just not.
All right, Steve, one last question. I'm going to let you go. We didn't talk last week. I didn't hear from you, but where did you come out on resting the players against the Commanders versus playing them to try for that number 2 seed?
Well, resting the starters is really fine. If you hold for the statement from the Chicago Bears, what they said, well, we didn't rest our starters. Well, congratulations, okay? But that's your team, not the Eagles, okay? It's the front office decides that if they want to rest the starters or not on Nick Sirianni. It's just not. This is on the front office side.
So I think that was a Howie call. You think Howie made that?
Some of it, yes.
Okay. I mean, I believe you. I'm not sitting here saying you're wrong. That's a good point. That's a very good point. All right, all right, Steve. Always a pleasure, man. Don't be a stranger. All right. All right. Now, that's a very interesting situation, and I really didn't give it much thought. Maybe I'm just out of date, right? Maybe I'm just not with the times. But do front offices really control that? Does Howie Roseman? I mean, I know Al Davis used to have a phone on the sideline, the red one, where you would call down and say, "Get this guy in the game" or "Get this guy out of the game." But is that a real thing? I mean, yeah, you're an NFL coach and all, but come on, man. I want to be a man. I want to run my team. The hell with you, Howie. Click. Hang up on his ass on the sidelines. I don't know, man. But that's an interesting point. Star Wars says, in case you missed it, if we're being honest, getting anything for Bryce Huff is win. The pick potentially could be the 4th round pick, and Bryce didn't record enough. So that was the 68th? Did we get the Jets' 2nd round pick next year? Wait, we're talking about Bryce Huff from the 49ers, Bryce Huff? Right, it's Bryce Huff that they're playing against this week, right? Isn't that Bryce Huff? Or Bryce? No, that's who is that? I can't keep track of him anymore. I see him. He played last week. I saw him. Hassan Reddick, right? Josh Sweat. It's Bryce Huff, Hassan Reddick, or Josh Sweat. Which one plays for the 49ers? Somebody does. I know the Eagles got the 68th pick from the Jets, their 2nd round pick for somebody, for a compensation on somebody. Tanner McKee's house got egged. Well, it wasn't me, Star Wars. You're blaming me. It wasn't me. Why would they egg Tanner? And Tanner McKee has a house. It's like 24. He's not living in an apartment down in Old City. That's where I'd be. What the hell is he doing living in a house, man? I don't believe that. I don't believe that they would egg Tanner McKee. I don't believe Tanner McKee has a house. Ricky says, go Flyers. Yeah, 4-2. Chippy game down there at the arena. Michael Papernick, how are you tonight?
Hey, what's up, Matty? So,
Just doing what I do.
How fast can we fire Sirianni and get John Harbaugh in here?
Good point. Very good point. Bring him home. Bring him home after 18 years.
I mean, he's going to get picked up. He's going to want to, I think, Cleveland. Maybe.
I got a feeling about the Giants, Papernick, the Giants. For some reason,
I don't want him there. I don't want him there. Atlanta makes sense too.
But
Atlanta makes sense with Bajoran Robinson, Michael Penix Jr., Kyle Pitts. I think that makes a lot of sense. But they got to bring him home. Look, if the Eagles lose this week, it's Bryce Huff anyway. It is Bryce Huff.
Damn. Bryce Huff, yeah.
That's who it is.
Bryce Huff is the one who plays for the 49ers, right?
Yeah, that's the one the Eagles. That's the one Howie made the big splash on, but didn't fit last year, and then he suckered the 49ers and taking him.
Yeah, he quit and then he wouldn't play, and then the 49ers didn't he get a ring? Wasn't he part of the roster for the Super Bowl?
Yeah. He was but Vic barely played him because he didn't fit the defense.
Yeah.
Well, because Howie signed him, and probably Vic didn't sign off. Vic Fangio didn't sign off on it, so it was like, this guy don't fit. It's like, they signed that running back from Seattle, and he didn't play all year, and he got a ring. And then look at AJ Dillon. If they win this year, how many games he played this year? 1, 2?
Yeah,
he'll get a ring. Where was he at? He was the big signing.
Who was the running back from Seattle? What was his name? I remember you talking about. What was his name?
Oh, I forget who it is, but he was the guy they signed. He had some injuries too, and they just kept him. They paid him a couple $1 million, and he didn't play.
And he got a ring.
He got it. I think it was either last year or it was the year before. I can't remember, but it was one of them 2 years. But yeah, it might have been the year before when they didn't go to the Super Bowl. That's when they went to the Super Bowl. Yeah. No, that was.
Oh, that's not a good hit.
I can't remember.
A chippy hockey game tonight between the Flyers and Ducks, man. They're fighting all over the place down there. Old time hockey going on tonight in South Philadelphia.
Yeah. I don't really. I can't get into hockey as much. Ever since they changed the game to make it more like Europe, and once Bettman tried to change the wheel, so. And want to make it square.
It's very reminiscent of the old time tonight. I mean, they're flying around and they're putting people on the ground, man. It's a very physical game tonight.
Well, that's what I never understood why people football and hockey are violent sports. I hate to say it. These are guys on skates. There are guys on skates who are and you're hitting them in the boards that don't move. I don't care how much they give.
Yeah, you're skating about 40 miles an hour and you're getting hit. You're gonna feel it. You know what I mean? You're right.
Yeah. So I mean, I get they want all the offense, but just my opinion, we're an aggressive country. We don't want to sit back and watch 8 to 9 to 8 games every night in hockey. We want to see some hitting,
8 or 9 fights. That's what I want to see.
Well, I ain't worried about I want to see a fight or two. I don't want to see it back when it was in the 70s or the 80s. You know what I mean? I liked it when they had Ty Domi and Prober. Them guys, they fought, but it wasn't like a bludgeon like it wasn't with the Flyers with Schultz and them. Through the 80s.
Man, that was some good. So MP checks in and says that Rashad Penny was that running back's name. That's right.
Rashad Penny. That's who it is. There it is. Rashad Penny. Yes.
Good job. Good job.
No, but it's a shame John Harbaugh is the how do you put it? The guy who had to got cut out of Baltimore. That was Lamar's fault for losing that game. It wasn't John. That was Lamar. Lamar don't show up in big games. I've been saying this for years. Him and Josh don't show up in big games when needed.
Yeah, listen, I 18 years. First of all, I don't think you get fired from a job after 18 years. I think there was a mutual parting of the ways.
Oh, yeah.
I think they sat down and decided, it's best for both of us to move on. Nobody gets fired after 18 years. You know what I mean?
No, I get what you're saying. It's like Andy Reid, when he was in Philly. He was in Philly I believe he was in Philly 3 years too long. But I mean, I love
agree.
Andy, but he just became repetitive after a while. But John's a smart guy, like you were saying. I don't want to see him go to the Giants. I mean, because he's got a built-in quarterback. He's got that running back coming back. He's got a pretty decent defense. I mean, I don't want that. Just stay far. How about Dan Campbell? They fired their offensive coordinator after 1 year.
That's it. They're running Howie Roseman's playbook right now. They're just gonna start firing coordinators, man. Just replacing him.
Yeah, but here's the difference. Dan Campbell took over, and the offense played not too bad. Wasn't great, but that's where Stefanski might wind up at.
Yeah, does he take the step that? I mean, I think that's the prevailing winds that he's not going to get offered a head coaching position. He'll probably definitely get offered an OC job somewhere. And I know his name already starting to pop up. I said it last night that even though he may not be the best fit, maybe college, but he may not be the best fit. But his name is going to be connected to the Eagles all offseason if they don't seal the deal this year about replacing Kevin Petula. But I agree. Stefanski might end up in Detroit. That'd be a great place for him to go.
And then the owner, or I don't know if it was the owner, but I think it was the owner, came out and said they want to keep Jim Schwartz and possibly make him head coach from Cleveland. Yo,
Jesus. Man, are you even trying anymore, Cleveland? Are you trying anymore? You just give up? I mean, good God, man. Come on.
You know why I say John Harbaugh? I think John Harbaugh would be great there. He brings that winning mentality, which Jim Schwartz brings. Okay, he won a Super Bowl with the Eagles, but other than that, he was the first coach to go 0-16 in the NFL. 0-16. What happened? Yeah, I mean, just think about that one. 0-16, Matty. I mean, then you got that. They're going to bring him.
I got to wrap up, man. We got to do it.
All right, you have a good night.
No, I'm sorry. I got to do a post game. So your internet's all kind of in and out. So Michael Papernick, I think my internet's kind of in and out too. Yeah, I think it's a weird night out there. But anyway, Flyers pretty much are in the driver's seat. Just got an empty netter. They're going to win this game 5-2. Looks like, again, a chippy game. We're going to get into the Clear the Ice program here. They just let off like toilet paper streamers in the stands. It's pretty cool. We're going to get into some Clear the Ice here in a second, but good conversation tonight. Should the Eagles, I never got to Papernick. I never asked him what he thought about the Eagles and able to run their defense to a Super Bowl. Steve says they can win this week, but he doesn't think they can win it all riding their defense. I honestly believe that's the right answer. I do think coming off essentially a bye week where they didn't play their starters, right? Where they didn't play their starters, they could probably go out and have a defensive battle between the 49ers and take over that game and help the offense win. But going forward into the divisional rounds and into the championship rounds and obviously into the Super Bowl, they're going to need to have the offense at some point step up. So I really believe that, I really believe that's going to happen. So Joe Hale says the internet. Yeah, the internet's, I think, is acting up here too. Ricky Deal says, Matt, like I will like it once I get Ricky's starting to press me on the Sixers coverage. I got to figure out, we got it all. We have the whole thing done. We have a whole show set up for the post game, but we just don't have a body to do it. Maybe I'll talk one of them. I don't know. It's a whole thing, but yeah, we deserve Sixers coverage on this network, and I'm sorry. The pick they got from the Jets is from the Reddick. Is from the right. The Reddick trade. I can't keep them all straight. They all remind me of the same person. I'm sorry. That's the secondary. That's the pick we're going to get next year. The 68th overall, which is the Jets' second round. And here we go. We're fighting again. Wow, man. Good old school hockey game going on. Man, that's the game I want to be at. Joe Hale, you should be at this game instead of the one on Saturday. This is definitely one of the more entertaining games the Flyers have played all season. You had goal scoring, 7 goals, and you have had fight after fight, hard physical play. Jamie Drysdale laid out. Hathaway laying out people. Zegras with 2 goals. This is a hell of a game tonight by the Flyers. Harbaugh might go to the Raiders. Joe, I don't think Harbaugh. Listen, there's dumpster fires and then there's the Raiders, right? I honestly don't put the Raiders are in their own category, in my opinion. You got the bad teams of the league, right? Then you got the Cleveland Browns. Then you got the Raiders. Okay, they're operating on all other levels of bad in those 2 franchises. I don't think Harbaugh has the patience, the life capacity, and the time to deal with the Raiders. I'm telling you, I have no inside knowledge, and I have nothing to base this on other than my gut feeling. John Harbaugh will be the head coach of the New York Giants. I just have a feeling that they're going to go all in on trying to bring him to New York. I just got a feeling, man. I got a feeling just to piss off the Eagles. Jim Schwartz never went. I know. I think he's had some bad years with Kansas City, with Detroit, right? Yeah, I don't really know what his record was. MattyB, thank you. Is it for your sister? Absolutely, Joe. I'm thinking of her. Again, I'm not going to disrespect you or her by giving you the platitudes and the empty stuff. It's a terrible thing, cancer. Thoughts and prayers is all I can offer you, and hopefully one day we can, as a race of civilization of people, get past cancer, and somebody figure that out, because it's a terrible, terrible thing, and I wish her and you all the strength through this, and so you guys can get through it. Tomorrow I'll be the first to call in. Thank you, Joe. Coaching the Raiders would put Harbaugh in the same. Yes, it would. That would be an interesting storyline. But he's not going to the Raiders. Would you go to the Raiders? MP, if they offered you the head coaching job of the Raiders, would you go? No, I wouldn't go. No, man. I would have win sometime in this century. But that's a good point, though. If they did put him in the AFC West, him and his brother would be in the same division. Telling you, Giants, or as Kaepernick said, the wheels fall off the Eagles. They don't get out of the first round. They get knocked out in the divisional round, whatever. And they decide to move on from Sirianni and his homeboy, Kevin Petula. Do you hire John Harbaugh to be the next head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles? I'd be 100% in on that. We would finally have a head football coach. Again, first time since Andy Reid. We'd finally have a national head football coach. Nah, I don't want to disrespect Doug. Doug was a good coach. Doug was a little too soft for me. But we'd actually finally have that kind of coach again. So that's a very interesting storyline to keep an eye on. Does Andy Reid or does Harbaugh come to the Eagles if the wheels fall off, they fire Sirianni, and John Harbaugh becomes the new head coach? 100% would I'd sign up for that. Go Flyers. Yes, great game tonight. We're going to do Clear the Ice here in a second. Saw a crazy question. What present NFL coach has more rushing yards in his playing career? What current NFL head coach has more rushing yards in his playing career than Bo Jackson? Don't tell me. I'm going to get this one. Give me a hint. AFC or NFC? AFC or NFC? Where's he currently coaching? I'm scanning my Rolodex right now. I'm coming up empty. Coaches in the AFC. Coaches in the AFC. It ain't Mike Vrabel. It ain't AFC West. Coaches in the AFC West. It ain't Andy Reid. Well, they only got 3 coaches out in the AFC West. They fired Pete Carroll, so there's only 3 of them. So it's either Reid, which is not, Harbaugh, and Denver's head coach. Is it Harbaugh? Does Jim Harbaugh have more rushing yards than Bo Jackson? If not, it's the guy in Denver, right? That's Jim Harbaugh. Oh, well, I mean, that's apples and oranges because I mean, Bo Jackson's career was violent, was good, violent, and short. You know, so if Bo Jackson with that hip thing, he was on his way of being one of the greatest players of all time. But hey, it was a short career. All right, let's transition real quick. Let's go to Clear the Ice because interesting game down there at the arena. Flyers are 5-2 winners, so I don't have do I have the intro for here? I do. We're going to duck out of here. So I hope you enjoyed the final word, but don't go anywhere because we're coming right back with the Clear the Ice program starting now. All right, welcome everybody to the Clear the Ice, a Flyers postgame show here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network. Your boy MattyB on the call. As I've been pretty much intonating all right throughout the final word show, the Flyers defeat the Anaheim Mighty Ducks, Anaheim Ducks, man, whatever they are, whatever, Flying V, whatever they are, 5-2 in an outstanding spirited game down at the arena. Had a lot of old school hockey, old time hockey flavor to it. Yes, no Hanson brothers. They weren't putting the foil on, but it was as close as you can get in 2026 to that kind of game. Chippy from the beginning. Cutter Gauthier returning to Philadelphia. And as I said earlier in the program, the final word, I know he's been having a very good season, but I was not aware that he was up to 20 goals, that he scored his 20th goal of the season tonight against the Flyers. But the Flyers held on and really went blow to blow with Anaheim. Trevor Zegras, 2 goals of his own. Dan Vladar was solid tonight. And again, the Flyers did pretty well in front of him as they get the win. They held Anaheim to less than 20 shots. So obviously when you're not getting that kind of work, it could boomerang on you as a goalie. You can fall asleep back there, but Vladar, 2 goals, 18 shots. I don't know if those numbers work out, but he was solid enough in front of the Flyers. But I guess the real story in this hockey game was the physical play. Radko Gudas, Garnet Hathaway, Jamie Drysdale was laid out at one point in this game. I mean, a vicious hit that was completely garbage, completely dirty. Listen, I played hockey. I understand emotions run over at times when you're out there. I get it. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that, emotions run. They run hot and they run over at times. And that hit that Hathaway laid on, who was it? I forget his name, but he laid him out in the corner. It was a clean hit. It was. The guy had the puck. His head was down and he was by the boards. I get that. It looked pretty bad, but it was a clean hit. Hathaway did not leave his feet. Hathaway went in solid with his body, led with his body, and it was a clean hit. But then Johnston decided to take matters into his own hands a few minutes later by just laying out Jamie Drysdale, causing Drysdale to leave the game. Initially, they brought the stretcher out, but Drysdale was able to get up and skate off on his own power, but obviously probably a little unaware of where he was at that particular moment in time. But that sort of continued that flavor throughout the rest of the game as there was a lot of rough stuff, a lot of extracurricular things going on in this hockey game. Just jolly good fun, honestly. I'm not gonna lie, man. That's hockey the way I want it. The Flyers were on the power play 8 times in this game. 8 times the Flyers were on the power play, to include a 5-minute major and a 2-man advantage And out of those 8 times on the power play, the Flyers managed 1 power play goal. All right. So, if they would have lost this hockey game, it would have been inconceivable when you're on the power play 8 times and you can only cash in 1 goal. But the Flyers did not lose as they held on to win 5-2. Let's take a look at this game from the administrative side point. The Flyers tonight, Nicholas Delorier, who probably really wished he would have played because this was a Nick Delorier kind of game. Noah Juleson and MattyB Michkov, the healthy scratches tonight for the Flyers. I wonder what that was about. Peter Mrazek, Ryan Storm, and Nikita Nashikova were the healthy scratches for the Anaheim Ducks, or the Ducks of Anaheim. I don't know what they're called. I don't care. In the net for the Ducks tonight, for them was Lucas Dastal. He was their goalie of choice, and he was opposed by, of course, Dan Vladar from the Flyers. Dastal faced 38 shots, made 34 saves. The last was an empty netter, and finished the night with a .895 save percentage. Dan Vladar, on the other hand, for the Flyers, got the nod and played well. Only faced 18 shots, but he did what he had to do. 16 saves, finished the night with a .889. Not a great save percentage when you only faced 18 shots but give up 2 goals. But all in all, a solid win for the Flyers tonight at the arena. Again, Cutter Gauthier would get things rolling early for Anaheim in the first period at the 4:15 mark, his 20th of the year on the power play from Lacombe and Turry to make it 1-0 Anaheim. But the Flyers would bounce back. The first of 2 goals from Trevor Zegras, first one at 10:22 of the first period, his 16th from the newly signed Christian Dvorak in his 5-year, $25 million contract. We'll get into that a little bit later. Terrible move on Danny B's part, and I'll explain why I think that's a bad contract a little bit later on. But Dvorak does get the assist, his 17th, connecting his 24th to tie things up at 1. And then Trevor Zegras about 4 minutes later on the power play. I'm sorry, the first goal was not a power play. The second goal was. On the power play, Zegras' 17th, his second of the night from York and Couturier to give the Flyers a 2-1 lead at the 14:23 mark, and that is how they would skate into the first intermission. Flyers pummeling the Ducks 13-5 on the shot side of things in that first period. In the second period, the Flyers would get a little space at the 1:15 mark. Ham York, again, you score those early goals coming out of the dressing room. You score those late goals going into the dressing room, really deflating for a team. Cam York is third from Gabrinkin and Cates to give the Flyers the 3-1 lead. Travis Sanheim would then give the Flyers some more room at 4-1 at 14:40 of the second period. His 5th from Cates, his 14th assist, and that is your score heading into the second intermission. The Flyers laid it on the Ducks in that second period, 18-5 in the shot department, to include a 5-minute major uninterrupted power play for the Flyers, which they could not score any goals on. 1 of 8 power plays the Flyers had tonight, and only got 1 beyond Dustel, but yeah, it is what it is. I mean, that's still a work in progress. 1 for 8 on the power play is god awful. Anaheim 2 for 3. Which, if there's anything to be concerned about with this young Flyer renaissance this year, it is their special teams play. Their penalty kill is hovering around 79%, which is not good at the NHL level. And their power play is on the way down, I think now hovering around 13%. So, again, special teams are not necessarily the Flyers' strong suits in 25-26. They got to figure something out. If they can stabilize the penalty kill for now, the power play thing has been a problem for the last 4 years. It's sort of what they are. We're sort of accustomed to that, but they really got to work on that penalty kill. In the third period, Alex Couron would get the Ducks to 4-2 at the 1:25 on the power play from Terry and Lacombe and make it 4-2. And then right at the end of the game at 18:46, Nikita Gabrinkin, his 3rd of the year on the empty net, 5-2 Flyers. And that is your final score. The Flyers and Ducks would be tied with shots with 8 in that third period. On the night, Flyers 39 shots, Anaheim 18. Flyers 1 for 8 on the power play. Anaheim 2 for 3. The Flyers gave the puck away 18 times, took it away 7. Anaheim gives it away 15 times, takes it away twice. Flyers also blocked an amazing 23 shots tonight in this game. And, of course, a lot of the gloves were flying. And during my final word telecast, I remarked about Racco Gudis is still playing in the National Hockey League. Guy's got to be close to my age. or maybe just slightly under it. But that's how you get 5-2, and the Flyers survive that game. Jamie Drysdale, let's see where he is at. Do we have concussion-like symptoms? He sure as hell looked concussed as he got up off the ice in a dirty, nasty hit. Johnson will probably more than likely be suspended because of that. We could do more Flyers Live. I mean, every time there's a post-game show, or every time there's a game, there's a post-game show, Ricky. And I like to incorporate the Flyers into the final word. I do. Just right now, it's tough with the Eagles being, in the playoffs, man. I gotta pick and choose my battles here, but yes, the Flyers will be more of a focus, and they're going to be once the season ends for the Eagles. We're going to have nothing but the Flyers to talk about, because apparently the Phillies aren't doing anything. So fear not, Ricky, I got you covered. But 5-2, and Flyers will now wait until Thursday night, and we will get the Toronto on Thursday, and then Tampa on Saturday. Mike Lauer will be here on Thursday night. I got you on Saturday for the first of a home and home, literally a home on Saturday and then a home on Monday with the Tampa Bay Lightning. So if you're looking to meet any of the Tampa Bay Lightning players, they're going to be in town over the weekend, hanging out. I would imagine go down Center City somewhere, find out where their hotel is, because they're going to be nothing but time on their hands on Sunday. I say hanging out in the city, waiting for the odd home and home against the Flyers. But 5-2. Christian Dvorak signed yesterday a 5-year, basically works out to about a $5.15 million AAV. Listen, I understand role players are what makes the world go round in hockey. You need them. You need them probably more than you need superstars. And I will attest to that, because not everybody can you cannot make up your entire team of Connor McDavids and Dreisaitl's and Sidney Crosby's and Malkins and, players are on that. Hell, you might have to start talking about Cutter Gauthier in that thing here soon. But I understand that you can't do that. And I get that. And you have to have role players. But when you're a team that is still trying to find its superstars, when you're a team that's still trying to find its identity, and you're locking down fourth line centermen, the 5-year, $5 million a season contracts, the salary cap is lightening up, and the Flyers will have opportunities to hit the free agent market next year and to be a little bit more aggressive. And especially if their play continues on the upside, players are going to want to come here. I get that. But locking down Christian Dvorak, who has been an offensive surprise this year. He's on the score sheet tonight. I get it. So 17 assists to go along with what? He's got 8 or 9 goals, something like that. He's been pretty good. But I sign him to a 2-year deal, a 3-year deal. I'll go 3 years. But locking him down to a 5-year deal, to me, says a couple things. One, we're not so excited about some of the young forwards that we got coming up through the system. Specifically, I think of one player, Jetlachenko. I think this signing is a signal to the world that Jetlachenko is not ready for the NHL and maybe never will be. I don't know. But I think that signing is sort of a signal about that, because you don't lock down a fourth line centerman for 5 years if you got somebody nipping at his heels on the prospect side. So that's a concern for me, that we're not developing players at a acceptable rate. And especially when you take a first round draft pick, who I thought Lachenko was a reach to begin with at 13 overall. And now we're signing Christian Dvorak to a 5-year deal. So not a good sign when it comes to the developmental side of things, because a 5-year contract on a fourth line centerman blocks the progress of certain younger players as they move up through the pipeline. And maybe they feel like there's no block because there's nobody coming. And that's concerning when you're looking at, and I'm not saying that's specifically Jetlachenko's the player, but I'm a pretty perceptive guy. Mama didn't raise no fool. I've been around. Kind of screams to me that there's some sort of issue there in the system with somebody or some players that prompted Danny B to sign a fourth line centerman to a 5-year contract. And that's concerning, because we've been dying for prospect help. And if Jetlachenko is a bust, which every day or every season that he can't stick here, I'm starting to believe that he is. But I don't like it for that reason. And purely for that reason. And just because you have money doesn't mean you got to spend it. Right? Let's be a little bit more frugal with our money, Danny B. I get it, man. But yeah, Dvorak, a 5-year, $5.15 million AAV. Not feeling it today. Not feeling it yesterday, and probably won't feel it tomorrow. But tonight, Flyers win 5-2. And that's all that's important. And we have gone almost to an hour and a half, so I am going to wrap this up. I hope you enjoyed the twofer. We did about an hour, or over an hour, of the final word with MattyB. Never got to the card of the night, never got to the of the night segment, but we'll do those again tomorrow when it's just me doing the final word. I promise you we'll get back to it. Got a couple good things to talk about when it comes to prospects and cards tomorrow. So that'll be on the back burner till tomorrow. I want to thank everybody for joining me for the twofer. Those of you that stuck around for the Flyers postgame show, thank you very much. Flyers 5-2 winners tonight over the Anaheim Mighty Ducks. Mike Lauer will be in on Thursday. I will be back on Saturday to finish up your Flyers week. And don't forget all the great programming here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network. Tomorrow, Wednesday, you have the Pittsburgh Sports Desk returning from their holiday hiatus, and you'll have me at 9 o'clock wrapping up the night. So until we talk then, you guys have yourself a Jim Dandy night, and we'll see each other tomorrow.